Tonight, want to break into a video game career? We'll get you started. Plus, an up-close look at this do-it-yourself computer case. And a text editor that does only what you want it to do. Watch out, Microsoft. Live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco, it's the Screensavers. Woo!
Hello and welcome to the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Sarah Lane. Thank you so much for joining us. Patrick's taking the day off, and I'm happy to fill his shoes. Yay!
Glad to have you as well. Tonight we have a great show. If you want to break into the game industry, we're talking programming, animation, or reviews.
I want to.
Patrick recently sat down with an industry insider, and he's going to give you all the information in just a little bit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and Yoshi right now has been working in the lab all week.
What's going on, Yo-Yo?
Well, you know, I'm just doing a little building, a little constructing. You know, you remember Erector Sets? Well,
yes.
I loved them, so you'll like this.
Record sets?
No.
Erector,
Erector
like, you know, you little build
Erector
things.
sets.
You didn't have
remember
Erector Sets?
Erector.
Oh, those were so much fun. You would just build all different kinds of things.
No, I know it.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay,
being
I was about
stupid.
to say.
I know. Same here.
Yeah. I didn't have my own Erector set. I think it's a little boy thing.
You probably had little My Little Pony and stuff like that.
Yes, I did. I still do.
How did I guess?
Yes, of course, Joshua's getting ready for this week's LAN party as well.
Yes.
Yes, I
Joshua.
am. I'm playing Far Cry, which the more I play this game, the better it
Love
gets. It is so
Look at that.
good. I'm going to shoot this guy in the head.
Yeah, he zoomed in on his... Oh, there we go.
Missed it.
Oh,
He's
there we
down.
go.
In this week's LAN party, though, we do have a guest from Far Cry that will be playing the community manager there. So if anybody loves the game or hates the game, come into the LAN party, try to kill him. We'll be in there, too. Kevin, you have to come over and try to play.
I'm definitely going to play.
Okay.
This is my all-time favorite game.
I want to ask you,
Yes.
because you've been talking about nothing besides Far Cry for like the last 3 weeks. What exactly, for somebody who hasn't got into it, but is a gamer, they're
Right.
like, should I start getting into Far Cry? What's the deal? Why is it so good?
Well, the cool thing about it is the graphics. Joshua, I would say
Graphics are awesome.
Yeah, it's like an engine we haven't
they're
seen
blowing
before.
away all other games?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The lighting effects, the way the water shines, you just have to really get into it and play it. Download the demo if you haven't got a chance, because it's free to download the demo.
So it's
You can play
beautiful.
it.
It's visually stunning.
That and just the whole plot is amazing. I'm not going to, tell everyone about it here because you have to get into the game. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
There's a plot line.
Yes, indeed. Now, Dan.
Dan.
Yo, what are you doing?
Not much. I just wanted to say, guys, if you take an age demographic,
Yes.
it's around 25 now, isn't it? It's gotten a little younger. Isn't
What do you
it?
mean on this show?
On this
right
show,
now?
on this
all
show.
the people running the show.
For sure. Pretty
Right?
cool.
26, 27, somewhere around there. You're the lowest. You're the youngest of the group.
24.
24.
24?
I
You
am.
liar. You're like 18.
16. But give me a call. The phone number is 888-989-7879. Also email us at thescreensavers@techtv.com. Very well. Happy April 20th, by the way.
Yes, happy April 20th.
Yes.
Happy April 20th.
To all of our friends out there.
They're so juvenile.
Let's start off with the tech news that caught our eye today.
Let's do that. We all know that viruses do lots of bad things, right, Kevin? They delete your files, hate that. They take down websites, even worse. But the most annoying thing, they fill your inbox with junk. It is just rude. And now they do it off on site. That's right. Emails containing the latest variant of the NetSki virus come in 9 different languages, including German, Italian, and Swedish. You know, I always wanted to learn Swedish, but this just isn't the way. The poor translations in the subject and body of the emails have led some to suspect that the author used AltaVista's Babelfish translator to write the emails. Of course, because Babelfish doesn't really work that well.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's not the best,
not
but
quite
it
right.
works okay. I love that graphic. Graphics department, great job. That was an amazing little worm. Look at him. He looks so cute. It's like they're doing
Graphics department. Like the new guy.
Yes, the new
Cute.
guy.
No, actually, Babelfish really doesn't work that well. I mean, if you take a big block of English text and translate it to another language, or take from another language translate it to English.
You still got to let people know, though, because they'll click and open any type of attachment. Don't open your attachments. Tech TV distributed in over 70 countries. We want to let all of our over-the-seas friends to know, email could be coming your way in your language.
Overseas.
Over the seas.
No, it's true. If you see an email that seems like English, but doesn't really sound right, just be extra careful.
Yes, yes indeed.
There's NetSki viruses in 9 different languages now. As if
Craziness.
we didn't have enough viruses already.
Next story. Michael Robinson is back in the back in the news. You may remember him as the guy who purchased MP3.com for several $1,000s.
You got to deal with that.
And then he sold it for $350 million.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, after receiving the $350 million, Michael declared he would create a version of Linux that would run Windows applications, and he called it Lindos. Several months later, he realized it was impossible to do so and decided to create a version of Linux for newbies. Microsoft then sued him, and he changed the company name to Linspire. Now, he's decided to file for an IPO for Linspire.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit.
Take a step back.
Let's take a step back.
As Patrick Gordon would say.
And then what else does he do?
The little golf clap?
Smashes things?
That's right.
Okay. Why was it impossible to make Linux, run Windows on Linux?
Well,
first of all, why was that impossible?
Well, the thing here is that the Unix community, the Linux community as a whole, has been trying to do this for quite some time. There's an open source project called Wine that's out there.
Right.
And you're able to run certain applications that run on Windows on Linux. And they've done quite a good job at it. And the problem, though, is what Michael did is that he took other people's software. He took all of the open source community software, stamped a pretty little interface on it, and said, I'm going to charge you money for it. And then he charges a subscription.
Okay, that's
for the
not
service
cool.
as well. It's not cool. It actually got a lot of people who were really upset at him. He got hundreds of thousands of nasty emails, and so now he's deciding to file for IPO for a product that we've reviewed and we really don't like. We think it's pretty crappy.
Yeah, I mean, we've said that several times.
We've said that several times, and it's now they're filing for an IPO. We can't tell you whether or not to invest in this IPO, but I'm not putting my money there. That's all I'm saying. There's no way.
So you think that they're just trying to get a little bit of money out of it before the whole thing goes kaput?
A little bit of money out of it. I don't know. I mean, obviously they're trying to.
This is business. That is the way business works.
Well,
I mean, I wouldn't put it past.
They're trying to make it a viable commercial product, but it's not going to. I don't know.
No, but nobody's on the bandwagon.
Nobody's on the bandwagon, and especially for something that you can download for free. It's based off the Debian Linux, which you can download right now, which I've demoed on the show.
That
Absolutely
whole free pay for thing. The choice is really
free or pay. Which one do you want?
Pay. No.
Yeah.
All right, want to take a call?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. David joins us on the NetCam Network from Montrose, Colorado. You there, David?
Hey, how are you guys?
Hi.
Hey, David.
How you doing?
It's great to talk to you guys. Your show's awesome.
Thany you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Hey,
You're
I'm
awesome, too.
upgrading my processor right now. I'm running a XP 1700, and I'm upgrading to a 3200 XP 3200 or
Nice.
an AMD 64-bit.
Okay.
I was wondering,
Good
what kind of
times.
cooling system am I going to need besides a fan and heatsink?
So you already have an XP processor right now, you said?
Yeah.
And are you going to the 64-bit version with the new motherboard, or are you going to stick with the existing architecture that you have?
No, a new motherboard.
New motherboard, you're going all the way to 64. Well, we have, actually, Robert Herron is here from the Tech TV Labs.
in the lab with
and
Yoshi.
If anybody
knows the
if these
answer
two
to this.
guys don't have the answer, they have been working on these components for quite some time now.
We like to play with them, yes.
Yeah, I know you guys do. I wish I had that
Are you planning
job.
on trying to overclock at all?
Not really with the 64-bit. I mean, that's powerful enough.
Yeah, and there's actually limited overclocking ability with the motherboards out. It's one of the reasons we asked. With the 64-bit, I mean, chime in, Robert. I like the stock cooling. And
stock cooling is enough for that CPU right now. I think it's even more important that you simply apply it properly. Unless they have on the heatsink itself, usually if you buy one brand new or if it came with the CPU, you'd see on the bottom usually they'll have like a thermal pad or something to that nature that would already be fixed on the bottom where the copper or the aluminum plate would be. Really, you just want to make sure if it doesn't have that you apply the thermal transfer solution. It's usually a paste or a liquid that would be put on there. You just want to make sure that's flat and even so you get good thermal contact between both surfaces, the CPU and that.
A question for you guys is, I know we've talked about this in the past, that the thermal grease that you put on these things, some people I've seen put big gobs of thermal grease on there. You don't really need that
actually,
much.
big gobs can cause problems. It can actually make the heat transfer worse. You want to use a real thin layer, and actually they use a system called priming, kind of. So you'll put a little bit on, you'll wipe it in, and fill the cracks, wipe it off, and then just put another little just thin layer. That's all you need.
Literally enough to seal the gap between the two, and the thinner the better. And the other thing too is I recently built a shuttle box out of for an AMD 64 system. Those tiny confined spaces are just natural for generating extra heat right there.
Right.
And even with the heat pipe design, the chip itself under full load would get up to around 65 C, which is pretty warm for a CPU, but 100% stable. I have had really no thermal problems whatsoever with AMD's latest parts.
Nice. That's good to know.
If he wants to go a little extreme, he can, set up like the Thermaltake heatsink or liquid cooling.
But like we were talking about too, the current state of the motherboards for Athlon 64, they aren't really conductive to overclocking in the first place. So you're not really gonna be overclocking an AMD 64 at this point in time.
All you'll gain by going from the stock heatsink is just running a little cooler. That's it.
Cool. Did that answer your question, David?
Yeah, it does. And I have Yoshi's book, and it's awesome. I just
Thank
like
you.
to congratulate him on that. Kevin, your shows are awesome. The Broken.
Oh, thanks, dude.
All you guys are awesome.
Oh, awesome.
All right, well, thanks for answering my question.
Oh, thanks so much for calling in.
David.
All right, sweet,
So
thanks.
nice.
Such a nice
You
call.
read Yoshi's book too.
Yeah.
Like right before you go to sleep
Yep,
every night.
every night.
And you
Just
put it under your
thumbing
pillow.
through it. He signed it for me, too.
That was so nice of him. You also get a Screensavers t-shirt for being on a NetCam. Thanks for calling, David. Okay, we're just getting started ahead in the show. We're going to find out if the Lubick PC case measures up to Yoshi's top standards. He's got top standards.
Yeah, he does.
Then after the break, Patrick had the chance to talk with Marc Saltzman, professional video game reviewer. They've got a few ways to help you into the video game industry. That's all with the Screensavers continues.
Do you love video games and you would kill for our next guest job? Marc Saltzman reviews video games. You can probably find it almost every week on usatoday.com. He joins us today to share some stories from his latest book, Game Creation and Careers, Insider Secrets from Industry Experts. You did something a little bit different with this book, Mark. Yeah. It's half do's and don'ts for the video game industry, all from stories told you by some of the greatest game creators ever. And the second half of the book is like, this is how you make a game from A to Z.
Right.
Did you do that? Because most people are like, well, you know, people like go in a garage and they make games. I mean, did you want to correct the confusion about how a game comes about?
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know, this book is the spiritual successor, as I would say, to a game design book. It was all about making games. So I thought, you know, the whole careers part of it is really compelling as well. It's very interesting how to break into this multi-billion-dollar, dynamic, young industry. So that's just right. You know, just like you said, there are chapters that break it right down to art, animation, programming, level design, music, sound design. And then the other half of the book is on getting a job at a development studio or working for a publishing company and all that, what that entails exactly.
Yeah, because somebody pick up your book and come out at the end of it and walk into a gig with Electronic Arts or is it still, you know, what's the skill? What's the thing people most need to learn?
Well, you know, because every chapter could really be broken out into its own book or even series of books, I would say that this book has more breadth than depth. So it's for those who, you know, they know that they want to make games for a living, or at least they're intrigued by the idea of that, which many call a dream job, and I would tend to agree that, you know, it's for those to help flesh out what they want to do. I mean, the first piece of advice given to me by a game developer is figure out what's your passion. I mean, a lot of gamers are like, all right, I love video games, so I want to do this for a living. Well, what exactly are you good at? You know, and
can you code?
Yeah,
can you
exactly.
draw?
Right.
Can you write?
So it's for those who are just starting out or those about to start out on this journey, you know, to create some of our, you know, the best games for the next, you know, few years. Pretty exciting.
If somebody's starting out and they're like, I want to make games for a living, there's college courses now for it. Some people say you should start in mods. I mean, how do you suggest people sort of search around and find their avenue in?
Well, the advice that I was given by these game designers is actually split. Some said, yeah, go for these schools like Full Sail and DigiPen or some of these colleges and universities that offer specialized game design campuses. Others say, go get a job at a game development company now, like even if you're starting off as a tester, even if you're doing some assistant work, even if you're mopping the floors. Get your foot in the door. So you hear mixed things.
So there is a possibility, right? Some of the saddest people I've ever seen are the Sega testers in our building. Where you can tell they've been hammering against one level for 3 days. Testers can end up creating
well,
games.
you know, a lot of these companies want to hire from within. They've already got to know you on a personal level. You know, maybe you've had a cool conversation in the lunchroom or whatever. So that's a great place to start. Of course, you have to show initiative, and you should be able to offer something unique to the game development. You know, the whole process. You got to offer something unique. But often, before they're going to look out, they're going to look in.
You're a gamer. You've been reviewing gamers, or not gamers. You've been reviewing games forever. You pretty much been watching this industry as close as anybody I can think of for probably the last decade. Is there ever a good time to break into gaming? I mean, it's like more money's being spent per game, but it seems to be spent in various, particular titles.
Yeah.
I mean,
what I would say to that is that it's probably not a great idea to start making a game on your own, like trying to get a development studio together and a game concept. It's probably a lot easier at this point because it's now, costs millions of dollars to make a game, anywhere from 5 or 6 up to 25 million if you talk about licenses and some of the artwork and music that you're hiring now for the game. So it's not one or two guys creating Space Invaders anymore. So I would say definitely try to get a job at a development studio until you get your feet wet and you start getting used to the whole process before you want to venture out on your own and raise capital. But you brought up a good point earlier about mods. It's amazing that a lot of video games now come with the tools for you to get your hands right in there and make levels and swap them on the net. The guys that make Unreal, Epic Games, and NVIDIA, they're offering there's $1 million mod making contest going on right now for those who want to create an add-on for Unreal Tournament 2003. And they're free. As long as you have the game, you have the tools to make the game, and then you just submit your best mod or modification. So it's pretty exciting.
Is that a good way to get the attention of a development company?
Absolutely. You look at, there's so many examples in this book of guys that start off making games, just by themselves, a mod, I should say, of a game, like from Half-Life or Doom or Unreal, and then they end up getting scooped up by the developers themselves. I mean, look at Counter-Strike. That's an example of a guy, Min Lee, who's now at Valve in outside of Seattle there, working with Valve, who's readying Half-Life 2.
From your experience, is it the producers, the coders, or the artists that really make up the game, or do they all kind of blend together at this point?
Yeah, well, that's really how the game design process works, is that everybody's got their specialties. They all work on things simultaneously. The book does start from pre-production all the way through all the production, and then at the end bringing it all together, and that is, of course, a science in and of itself. So, yeah, all these disciplines work at the same time. They do have to pull together the code and the art and make sure it all communicates with one another and make sure that they hit those all-important milestones before they ship the game.
E3 is coming up. That is the trade show of the year for the video game industry. Anything you're looking forward to, or anything you're hoping is going to be revealed?
Well, the Electronic Entertainment Expo is the place to be if you're in the industry, where you get to see 2,000 games coming out over the next year to 18 months. So it's very exciting that you do get to see some behind closed doors stuff. I am a judge along with a few other dozen colleagues of mine.
Is that fun, or is that a nightmare? Picking the best of E3.
It's both a blessing and a curse. I'd say more of the former. I mean, really, you do get people wanting you to get down and play those games, and you are given all access pass to a lot of the stuff that's not on the show floor, that is behind closed doors, like I said. So you get to play some games that even other people that attend E3 don't get to see. So being a judge is a lot of responsibility, but I hope that with my experience and my love for this medium, that I can offer something and help my readers know what to look forward to over the next couple of years.
Good to know you're putting some thought into it. One last question before we go. What's your favorite game right now? What are you spending the most time playing?
I'm playing a bunch of games simultaneously. I'm playing Final Fantasy XI on the PS2 online. I'm playing Breakdown on Xbox, and I'm playing Far Cry on the PC. It's a Ubisoft first-person shooter. Great game if you're into 3D shooters. So a lot of great stuff out there right now. It doesn't all come out at Christmas, so definitely take a look at your store shelves. There's some great stuff.
Mark, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
To talk to us.
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the screensavers will be coming in E3, so we'll check in with you from there. And you can get the links to Mark's favorite insider gaming sites at thescreensavers.com. And for our Canadian viewers, because there's a bunch of you out there, look for the man on radio and in the papers. Good stuff. Now stay tuned. There's a lot more screensavers coming ahead.
I love that song. Welcome back to the Screensavers, everybody. Let's take a call.
Yes.
Okay, Josh joins us on the phone from St. Charles, Illinois.
Hey, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
What up?
How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good today. I have a tornado heading towards the house, though.
There's a tornado?
Yeah, it's about 40-some miles from here.
Heading towards your house right now.
Should we be getting downstairs, or?
Oh, no, it's got to go below me.
The tornado.
It goes below the house?
Oh,
See, we're from California. We don't understand we don't understand tornadoes.
South of where he's at.
Is it like
Take the computer,
Wizard of Oz kind of stuff?
go downstairs.
Yeah. Keep the computer safe.
That's right.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, do you have a question about your comp?
Yes. What can I expect when I upgrade my motherboard?
Good question.
So you're looking to get a brand new motherboard? This one a little too slow for you?
I'm bored with it. I want to do something different.
Okay.
Sounds like a man after our own heart.
Yes, indeed.
I'm bored. You running XP?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when you first put the motherboard in, you're going to run into a couple different things. First and foremost being that most likely you're going to change chipsets. You're going to get a new, faster chipset on the motherboard.
And with that means you're going to have to install new drivers.
Right. Windows XP is kind of going to freak out a little bit the second you put it in and fire it up for the first time.
Hey, I don't know what this thing is. Where are my drivers?
Yeah, it's going to be looking for all different types of things. New motherboards nowadays come with all different kinds of things built on the motherboard. You'll see this one here has a built-in integrated sound card. It also has integrated LAN right here. So it's going to ask for a bunch of different drivers: sound drivers, LAN drivers, chipset drivers.
Everything anything that's changed, it needs information for it. And what we do recommend, Josh, is that you try to get as many drivers off the net or wherever, download them, and burn them to a CD before you even get started, because Windows is going to ask you anyway. So you might as well have them on hand, and when it says, where is it, you can say, right here on the CD, right here on the CD. Makes your job a lot easier. That's the first step.
Yeah, a lot of motherboards will come with the drivers burnt on a CD, but they're normally a few months out of date, so it's always best to have the latest.
Yeah.
Now, just question for you, Josh. What type of computer do you have right now?
I have a compact Dario with a Celeron processor.
Okay, just to let you know, sometimes Compaq can use proprietary form factors in their cases, meaning that not all motherboards are going to fit that case. So you have to make sure.
Yeah, I was thinking about upgrading my case too.
Okay, so you're fine there then. Yeah, if you want to buy a new case, that's fine too, because Compaq sometimes, they make little funky, skinny PCs.
Explain this proprietary thing to me one more time.
Well, this motherboard right here, it fits. See where all the holes are lined here as far as screws go and everything? Yeah. This is conforming to what's called the ATX form factor for a motherboard. So it's made with certain hole sets and a certain layout that it's going to fit in any case that you purchase. As far as where the RAM and processor is located, you don't want it bumping into other components.
Gotcha.
Say like a power supply or things like that. Now, certain manufacturers, not really Dell so much, but Compaq and some of the others, will make certain types of PCs that are a little skinnier or a little wider, and they'll make their own proprietary motherboard formats. So if you go to upgrade the motherboard, you'll get your brand new motherboard, you'll take it home, you'll slide it in the case and say, hey, the holes aren't lining up right. I can't quite fit this in there.
And then they just doing that because they already have partnerships with manufacturers, and they just want you to buy their motherboard.
Exactly.
That's not too surprising.
Yeah, it's a way for them to save money, and they like to
Can
make
you
their
believe
own.
people try to do that in technology?
So if you're going to get a new case, you'll be fine. But just to let you know, like you said, burn all the drivers to CD, and you really shouldn't have a problem.
And it's always fun to always have those answers already. You're like, oh yeah, you want the new drivers for that? Bam.
Done deal.
Got it. Yeah. Thanks for the call, Josh.
Okay,
Hope we answered
you.
your question.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Be
Get
careful.
underground.
Yeah, with that tornado coming.
Tornado.
That's not a good thing.
I'm really afraid of those things.
He's talking to the screensaver. He's like, who cares about the tornado? I want to get a new motherboard. Here's Dan with a quick tip.
Hello. Also, don't forget, you probably need to reactivate Windows as well. That's a quick tip for you. But anyways, downloads that do it all are great. Sarah, being the queen of downloads, has a nifty little app that can make your life a little bit easier. The app is called Ace Utilities, and it does a bunch of different things. Like it says here, it removes all the junk files, cleans your system registry, erases your history, and even fixes shortcuts that don't actually go anywhere. So, anyways, go to thescreensavers.com/show notes to download Ace Utilities to fully optimize your rig. But don't go anywhere. Sarah has an alternative for Microsoft Word that will work on almost any OS that you can think of. But after the break, we have tons more. We have what parts? Excuse me. This is a computer case that Yoshi put together all by himself. The Lubick computer case. All that when the Screensavers continues.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose. Coming up in this half hour, if you're tired of MS Word or just want to try something different, Sarah has a free alternative, and it will work on almost any OS. And more of your live calls coming up. But now, we've seen a lot of do-it-yourself kits here on the Screensavers, but today, we have a do-it-yourself computer case. Yoshi has been checking out for the last few days. Yoshi, what do you think? What do we got going on here? Tell me about this.
Well, this is from Herron. They call them the Lubick kits, and it's basically. Do you have Erector sets when you were a kid?
Yes, I love those.
It's a Erector set for our generation, or our kids' generation, or heck, for me, I love playing with it. So it's basically you get the kit, there's all these lovely parts. You got all your brackets, all your bags full of screws, and they give you tons of extra screws. So if you lose them, it's not really that big of a deal. And complete instructions on how to build this stock kit, and then from the stock kit, you put your case together, and of course you can build anything you want. They just give you the stock one. Here's your reference point.
Cool. So it's a standard ATX computer case. This is going to work with anything that you buy as far as motherboards go.
This one here, I have, it's actually an Athlon 64 motherboard sitting in it.
That looks cool too.
So it's, you can put almost any computer you want in there. But I like the fact that it's open. Some people are like, well, it's going to get all dirty, and what about? Well, you're going to see it more, so you're going to clean it more because you don't want this ugly piece of junk sitting on your table full of dust balls flying off at you when you fire it up.
So show me about how did you put this together exactly? So
well, basically, you got all these parts. So you got like all your brackets, all this kind of stuff. I've pre-assembled some of these guys. It's like these little slider rails. It's kind of hard to see there. So they just slide in these little channels, and then once everything is in the channels, you would lock it down.
Oh, nice.
So whatever position you want it in, you can have it at angles, you can have it at right angles, 30 degree, 20 degree.
So it's up to you where you want anything mounted. If you want your power supply on the other side, or your
you can have your power supply like a diamond on the top if
Yeah,
you
it doesn't
really
matter.
wanted to. It
That's
looks
cool.
kind of funky, but hey, that's creativity, right?
How about mounting the motherboard? How do you determine exactly where that goes?
The motherboard, they give you this nice little tray you have here that has the
I
holes
see.
pre-drilled in it, and you put motherboard standoffs in it. So they've made that a little bit of a no-brainer. You don't
Right.
have to go to formfactors.org and go, okay, what's the spacing for all
Yeah.
my motherboard holes, and figure it out.
That would be a pain. Now, what about drives? It looks like you have some
Those are for
drive
the
mounting
drive bays.
rails right here.
This is actually a bigger case that they meant. It's more of the full tower size ATX. But you don't even have to use this. You can do it like I got this one. It's just mounted to some of the rails on the case I built.
Oh, I
you
see.
don't even need the plastic ones on that one.
So this will fit like 5 1/4 drives. Here's some 3 1/2 ones right here.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And you can mount anything you want. I didn't put a floppy in this because I don't put floppies in my systems anymore. Kind of a waste
Yeah,
of real
I don't
estate.
think
if you
anybody
ask
does
me.
anymore.
Yeah, why bother?
So who do you recommend this for? Would this be something good for kids to start off with?
This would be an excellent project for kids. It's a little complex, so you're not going to give this to a 10-year-old and go, hey, go build. You're
Right.
going to have to supervise them a little bit because I actually had to take it apart like 3 times because I forgot to add enough of these little spacers that they give you tons of extra for.
What are the spacers for?
That's to put the screws into.
Oh, I see.
And they tell you, put like 6 or 7 extra ones in there, and I'm like, I don't want all those extra things sliding around.
Right,
and,
right.
Well, I needed them, so I had to take it apart to get it just perfect.
So it's a little bit of it takes a little skill to get this
It takes
working,
a little skill, but it's perfect for kids. It's easy to learn. They'll learn more about the computers too, because they're going to have to put the components in, and then they'll see the components, and that's how everything is connected, and they'll get a little more of an understanding.
Nice. Now I like some of the ones that you showed me that other people have created.
Yeah, well,
This is cool.
This one here, this is for Brentano all the way. It's the pirate ship case.
That's
you got to
awesome.
have the pirates.
I like the fan at the top of the pirate ship right there.
I was trying to figure that out. It's like, what are they cooling?
There's not really cooling anything there, but it looks cool.
Of course, the biplane kit. This kit I have can also make a biplane, so then they give instructions on their website on how to make a lot of these. Which is
So you just print out the instructions. How many different things can you make? Is there other?
Well, they have this is their iPod clone, which looks like a basketball court to me.
The iPod clone?
Or iMac, I'm sorry.
That still looks nothing like an iMac.
That's why I said it looks like a basketball backboard. A giraffe.
Oh, that's cool.
A Hummer
one's cool.
for
Nice
those
Hummer.
people that really like those big annoying
It's got NetCams at the top
SUVs. This is a better plane that I like than the other one. A little more of that fighter plane style.
That's pretty cool.
And of course the Scorpion for those that love the Rock, I guess.
So now I see it comes in a couple different colors. I mean, do you have blue? There's
They
also
come in
red,
blue,
and black,
and silver.
Okay.
So those are your choices, which really makes me wonder why the box has orange and red on it. But we'll get into that at another time.
That's cool. So do you have to add multiple kits? So if you want to build something bigger, you get a couple of these, 2 or 3 of them?
You're going to get like tons of extra screws, tons of extra fasteners, but you're going to be short of the actual building blocks and the little joints, the brackets. So you're going to want to they have actually just upgrades. You can bet, I'm going to get a whole box of just the bars, or just buy a whole new kit, so you get everything.
Okay, so your final recommendation, pretty sturdy. Definitely something you would buy?
Very sturdy. I mean, you can.
Nice.
Well, I don't want to shake a running hard drive like that. But, oh well. Definitely something I would buy.
Cool. Excellent. Thanks, Yosh. For his full review and the links to the kits, visit Yoshi's article. He got a nice article up at thescreensavers.com. Now stay where you are. We have more live calls coming up. But up next, we've got a free text editor that does about everything, and it's going to run on Windows, Linux, and a whole lot more. That's all when the Screensavers continues. So when we were at the break, I was talking to Yoshi, and he's got this kit that he hasn't even used for anything yet. And I said, why don't you build something, show us how good of a mad modder you are.
Like modding on the fly?
Modding on the fly.
Okay.
So Yoshi is going to start working right now.
I'm going to build a model Kevin.
A model Kevin.
A Kevin mod.
Nothing could replace me, though, right? Okay. Aww.
Oh. Well, I don't know. It has its advantages.
No, it doesn't.
No complaining.
Oh,
no
don't even
gaming.
try it.
No.
Okay. Before I get too deep in my little hole here, let's check in with the fine folks over at Fresh Gear to see what's coming up tonight. Stephanie Seemiller joins us. What's coming up, Stephanie?
Hi, guys. I'm sorry. I think I have a cavity coming in. It was just too sweet over there for a second.
I know everyone at home's like, blah, stop it, you're ruining my life.
Kevin and Sarah running the shoe.
We like this way. It's fun.
Can I just tell you something?
Yeah.
My job definitely does not suck.
No, you have a good job.
No, check this out.
Okay.
I got to head out to Annapolis, Maryland to try out a one-of-a-kind recreational vehicle. It's the CZ7, a nearly indestructible inflatable boat. It was originally designed for the military, but now weekend maritime warriors can take it for a spin. Top speed of 65 miles per hour, $195,000, and I'm taking you with me. It's possibly the best assignment I've ever had.
You were in that thing?
Yes, I got to drive it.
Oh my.
Awesome.
I got to drive it.
That looks like it hurts.
No, my
Looks like
God, it was
fun.
so much fun. No pain.
Do they have seatbelts in there? I mean, would you just fly out?
No seatbelts. No seatbelts.
No seatbelts.
No, that you have to watch the show because we do actually talk about these special seats that they have in this boat.
That's out of control.
That's cool.
Thanks,
Well,
Stephanie.
it's all coming up tonight on Fresh Gear, 8:30.
All right.
It's like Daredevil going on at Fresh Gear.
I know.
We need to go on Fresh Gear. That's what's coming up on Fresh Gear right after Tech Live, which is right after this show.
Yes.
Moving on, if you're a Windows user, of course you've gotten really used to Microsoft Office, right? Microsoft Word is it's the word processor that, of course,
Yes.
I use. There's also OpenOffice that's up and coming as the cool, robust word processor that spans multiple platforms. Everybody likes that. But what if you have some space issues? What if you don't want something that's really that robust? What if you only use word processor? for
Something
a few
lightweight.
things? Something lightweight.
Yes.
Something, there's an alternative word processor that I have found out. It's actually not new. It's been around for a while, but I'm new to it, and it's called AbiWord. It's great, open source. It's completely free, and it is a text editor, word processor, whatever you want to call it, that's just not so inflated for someone who doesn't need all of the options.
Nice.
Now, the nice thing about it is that it does have the options to install multiple plugins depending on what you're looking for. But what I've got open right now, well, first of all, let's start with Microsoft Word. We all know what it looks like. You've got your format, your tools, Windows. You can do lots of stuff. You can import pictures and even do some manipulation there. If I open up AbiWord, it really doesn't look a lot different. I've got some text, I've got a picture, we've got some options here, centering. This is all very normal. Now, for someone like your mom does a lot of word processing. She likes fonts, stuff like that. AbiWord would be fine for her, right?
Well, the big thing about Microsoft Word is it's going to run you like, I don't know even what it goes for retail, but a couple $100 for just the standalone package.
And you can only get it one way. You can't say, well, I don't really want the thesaurus. I'll save myself a couple megs. That's just not the way it works. Now, AbiWord is a lot smaller. It's really sleek. It works really well. I have no problem with this at all. And the nice thing, you asked me before the show, well, why wouldn't I want to use OpenOffice then? Well, you probably would if you want all the features together. This is, again, the best way to get the most basic features without all that other stuff. Now, if you want all that other stuff, you can have it. If you go to, this is at Abi Source, this is sort of the end-all, be-all for AbiWord, there are a lot of plugins. We've got import, export filters. You can do stuff where you can export to your Palm. It reads Microsoft Word documents anyway. Babelfish, yes.
For the virus creators out there?
For the virus creators out there. In the tools menu, there's a lot of stuff going on. What I've done is I've opened up an instance of AbiWord that has these plugins. Now, you see in my tools area, I've got all sorts of good stuff going on here. I have a lot more preferences. Abi Paint, you can specify your image editor if you want to just launch that.
So are these all plugins that you've installed manually?
These are all plugins that I've installed manually.
How hard is it to install a plugin? Is it just double-clicking and just automatically puts it in the plugin directory?
You just choose your mirror that's closest to where you live, and you're good to go.
Oh, nice.
And just launch AbiWord, and it's done.
Cool.
So, yeah, I mean, here I have it. Here's AbiWord without them. Here's my tools. It's a little bit easier. And then here's AbiWord with all the extra stuff. So, for example, if I want to highlight this text, and I want to, use my free translation, right? And it'll take a second, and there we go, and now I'm in German.
Nice.
Of course, as we all know with Babelfish, it's not
that
really
accurate.
the perfect translator, but you see how easy that is. That was so super, super easy. What else do I want to say about this?
We've been talking about how it runs on different operating systems.
Yeah.
Is there an OS 10 version of this?
OS 10, BOS, many versions of Linux, Windows. I mean, it's Solaris. It's all across the board. Anybody, I'm almost, at this point, basically all of you out there can use AbiWord.
There's like 2 people out there running Solaris right now. They're like, yeah.
The people that run Solaris are happy that I mentioned them because I know you guys are getting left out of the conversation, right? Anyway, AbiWord is free, like I said. Get it for yourself in my Download of the Day article at thescreensavers.com. I've also included a link to OpenOffice if you're looking for that more hefty word processor. The options are up to you. I'm also curious as to what plugins are useful to you guys. So, download AbiWord, see what you like, and let me know what your ideal slim setup is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's a cool program.
It's fun.
Completely free,
Completely
too.
free.
We love.
What else do you want?
Now, coming up after the break, Colin is on the phone, and he wants to do some hardcore hacking for security reasons.
Whatever.
We'll find out what that's all about coming up right after this break.
Okay.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. Sci-fi geek Will Wheaton talks about his latest projects. And I'm going to show you how to run any version of Linux or Unix right inside of Windows. plus diagnostic software. Which one is right for you? We're going to tell you all about that. That's all on tomorrow's show.
It's like the opposite of Linda.
Yes, it is.
It's fun.
It's cool.
And does it work?
It works great.
I can't wait.
It'll be a good segment.
Yeah. Colin joins us on the NetCam Network from Avon Lake, Ohio. Thanks for joining us, Colin.
Hey, Colin.
Hi.
Hi.
Whoa, something's
Colin,
going on there.
You're looking kind of Halloween-y there.
There we go.
All right.
Hey, Colin.
Hi.
He's like, what are you talking about?
He's like, I don't see the joke.
Your NetCam was a little messed up there for a second, but we got it all worked out.
We see you now.
I just have my own web server. I'm going to be starting one, and I'm wondering if I could hack it and just to see like what would happen, and so I could patch the holes. I'm wondering if that would be like illegal, and like the issues with that.
So you're wanting to
wants to hack himself.
He wants to make sure that nobody else can.
That makes sense.
He wants to troubleshoot before things get weird. That's really smart.
Yeah, that's smart, Colin, because that's actually how security experts do it. I'm going to give you a couple different applications that you can use.
Okay.
One that we've demoed in the past here is called Nessus. Now, Nessus is an open source application that we've developed. Yeah, completely free when it's open source.
Free.
And
website.
anytime a vulnerability has been released, they create a plugin for Nessus. So let's say there's a hole in Apache. Let's say you're running an Apache web server. They're going to create a plugin that you just drag and drop into the plugins directory, and then you'll be able to run this application, Nessus. It will scan your machine. So you run this from home, you scan your web server, and it will look for that vulnerability. Now, it won't actually exploit it. It won't actually cause any damage to your web server. It's just going to look and see if it's available, and then it'll give you a nice little HTML report. You'll get that back, and it'll give you a list of which things are open or need to be patched on your system.
Yeah, if you look at the plugins families, I mean, it's all across the board.
Oh, they have so many different plugins.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that this is open source, so it's supported by a community of programmers. So literally, like the second a new...
Who care about the same stuff you care about.
Yeah, exactly. The second an exploit comes out, they have it patched in a patch ready to, plugin ready to be dropped in. Now, are you familiar with Linux or Unix at all?
A little bit.
Just a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what. There's another application that you might like. It's called Knoppix STD. Have you heard about that?
No, I've not.
Okay, it's a download that you can, if you're not
Hard
really...
to believe, because you love it.
Oh, I love it.
You
It's
talk
cool.
about it a lot.
We talk about it a lot, but this is it's an ISO image that you download, and all you have to do is download it to Windows, fire up your copy of Nero, and you'll burn it to a CD. And this is going to save you the trouble, because the problem with Nessus, what they don't tell you on the website, is that when it comes down to certain Unix and Linux applications, they can be a little bit of a bear to install. Sometimes, you know, there's dependencies that it requires, certain libraries that you have to install.
Knoppix lets you do it all just from a CD.
Exactly.
You don't have to go through the complicated stuff.
You put the CD in, you boot from it, and then it's built right in. Knoppix STD is actually, it's their security tools distribution. That's what the STD stands for. And it has all of these security tools that you're going to want to learn built right into the CD. So there's no configuration. You basically just click, launch it, and then you'll be able to scan any system that you want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, just to let you know, don't go scanning your friends' machines.
No.
No. You don't want to do that, because if it's not your computer, you can actually trip off some intrusion detection systems and get yourself in a little bit of trouble. So don't use this for evil, even though a lot of these security tools can be used in that way.
I have a feeling that Colin's
seems
got
like
good intentions.
He's a straight arrow, for sure.
He's like a little Kevin.
Yes, he is.
He's like, I just want to find out if other people are doing it.
That's right.
I'm just going to make sure it's safe.
Colin, you can be the dark tipper someday. Come on up here and we'll do a little hosting.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, just kidding. Yeah, come on down, Colin. Thanks for the call, and you get a Screensavers t-shirt because you are a NetCammer.
Yes, indeed.
We always want to encourage NetCam.
More NetCammers, the better.
We got to see our audience.
Now, one more call.
Oh, we're going to take another call? All right, Brad joins us on the phone from Newaygo, Michigan. Thanks for joining us, Brad.
Hey, Brad.
Howdy.
How you doing?
I'm all right, I suppose.
All right.
How's the weather in Michigan? Still freezing?
Pretty much. Well, we kind of thawed out lately, but...
Oh, that's nice.
All right.
What can we help you with?
Yes, I was wondering, I have an XP Pro machine at school, and I have a Windows 95 machine I have at my house, which I keep running all the time. I was wondering if I could use remote desktop to get to my Windows 95 machine.
Okay, so you have XP at school, but you want to connect and actually control your Windows 95 machine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's explain remote desktop for the people at home that don't know what it is.
Okay.
It's basically a service that's built in. It used to be called Windows Terminal Services, and it was built into Windows NT in 2000 as such. That's what they called it. But then they changed it to a nice user-friendly name called Remote Desktop.
And this is how you can control another computer from the location that you're in, provided that those two computers can talk to each other.
Exactly. As long as they're on the internet and you have a decent connection on both ends, you'll be able to connect to that machine and actually replace your desktop with that remote computer. This is how Dan administers the LAN parties. Like we have a server that's sitting there, a Windows box, and he'll connect to that even though the server is back in Texas, and he can just control it and do all that. Now, to answer your question, remote desktop was not designed for Windows 95. So it's not going to run on Windows 95 as the server side. You'll notice that you've probably seen it built into Windows XP, right? Have you seen the option there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's built into XP as far as actually connecting and controlling another XP or 2000 or NT machine.
But he still has options.
Yes, he does.
Type VNC.
Yeah, there's a great piece of software that was developed by AT&T called VNC, and it's actually completely open source now. This one here is called Type VNC. It's probably our favorite variation of the VNC suite.
And it does a lot. It basically does exactly what remote desktop would do. It does what he wants to do.
Exactly.
It'll control a remote machine from his XP computer, even though the machine is older.
Yeah, all you have to do is download the version for Windows 95, 98, install it on your machine, and then you'll also install the client on your workstation, on your XP box, or wherever you are. You can download it no matter where you are in the world. You'll connect to that machine, and then you'll be able to control it just like you would. It's a little bit different. It uses a little bit of a Java. There's one that has a little Java interface for it. There's a couple different ways
Like
you
you
can
kind of like set up client server type of thing?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's really easy to use. Type VNC is our favorite.
Perfect. You use stuff like that with your mom all the time.
Yes, indeed. I'm always helping Mom out.
Problems.
Just kidding,
Hi,
Mom.
this is Rose. Thanks for the call, Brad. Let's check in with Dan for a little secret now.
A little secret. I see. Well, if you like gadgets and tech toys, then you're going to love our Digital Digs Roadshow. But as a bonus, you get to meet Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler in person. Not bad, huh? Now, the Roadshow hits the Pasadena, California area on April 24th and 25th. The event runs from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday and noon to 5 on Sunday. Now, for more information and to learn more about the coast-to-coast stops of the Roadshow, go to techtv.com/digitaldigs. Very nice. But now, stay where you are, because we're going to check the final emails and answer your questions. All that on the screen, everything.
Now, I want to check in with Yoshi and see how that Kevin mod is going.
Forget Yoshi.
It's going great, and I think this is some of my better work. I mean, just tell me what you think.
Okay, bye.
That's like what you expect when you first get up in the
I
morning.
particularly like the nose. You know, note the nice nose section there.
Yoshi, I think that might be your best mod yet. That is absolutely incredible. Good work. Kevin, what do you think?
I have nothing to say.
It's a spitting image. It's like looking into a mirror, isn't
That is
it?
not a computer mod, Yoshi. I wanted a computer mod, some kind of case or something.
Look at the light. Look at the light. That's
I
electric.
think it's very representative of you.
It's really good. You should think about maybe expanding the hair a little bit.
No, Yoshi's the one that has highlights, and I'm not saying
Yes, I do.
Yoshi's like, we're boxing after the
Yoshi's
show.
like, that's not funny. All right, you ready for some
Let's do
emails?
some emails.
Let's do that. Thank you, Yoshi.
Thanks, Yoshi.
You made my day.
Anytime, Jeff.
That was great. Barza wants to know, can a computer with Intel integrated Extreme graphics be upgraded with a new graphics card?
This is a problem that a lot of people are having because new games like Far Cry and all these cool 3D games are coming out, and they realize that they have this built-on graphics on the motherboard.
Right.
And the Intel Extreme graphics, they're just kind of, they're not really
They want
that
better
good at all.
graphics. They want graphics that is going to do the game justice.
Exactly. So look on your motherboard. A lot of them will have an AGP slot on there, so you can upgrade them. Some won't. It just depends on the motherboard manufacturer. You can always put a PCI graphics card on there. It's not going to be the latest or the fastest, but that's an option as well.
Real quick, P2P networks for the Mac, not iTunes.
Not iTunes, PDP networks for the Mac. LimeWire is one that's written in Java. You got to have the latest version of Java to run that. And also Acquisition X. That's another great one.
There you go.
That's it for this edition of Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Sarah Lane. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. We'd like to thank our guest, Marc Saltzman. Patrick will be back tomorrow. Until then, have a great night. See you next time.
Good night.